evening, everybody. Here we are again. The Boys Back to Podcast, and we're missing one of our star pupils. We got a little bit behind schedule. We're gonna get this podcast done anyway. Okay. Man, this sage is off the chain here. Got us a new sage from the Pima Reservation, and from Arizona. Matakia Watson, my Pima brothers and sisters. Thanks for the sage. Ooh, boy. Just so you know, I'm sitting in the east. This is a hard sage, guys. You got, what they say?
Keep that blaze on. It was missing a torch for some reason.
Just continue to blow with a firm, steady breath to keep it smoldering.
I got no torch. Does it smell good? I can't even smell it.
It does smell good. I had a torch, but I can't make the right food to do it.
I think if you just blow it, it'll be fine.
With the flame?
I don't think you need the flame. Just keep blowing.
I'm not doing good. Here you go. Get y'all some noise with it.
You need some
Torch. Big torch.
You got one?
Thought I had it, but it's not.
Okay. All right. Got too much going. Hey, there was a boxer, Garcia. What's it? Ryan Garcia. He's talking about the creator, which is good. That's good medicine, Ryan. I appreciate watching you talk about that creator. I get the young kids involved. Apparently, you went through an episode as a young kid in terms of, I'm not sure what happened to you. I never heard that part of your story. I don't know if you were child trafficked or had a parent that trafficked you or something, but I think it was a relatable thing that happened to your past where you talking about the kids being trafficked. Hey, our heart goes out to them. We like to extend a prayer to the babies and the adolescents. We ask the Creator to protect them, give them people in their lives who will look out for them and to really pay attention to what's going on and who they're with. We ask the Creator to guide those people and be with them in the name of the God of Abraham, Isaac, Moses. Aho. Look out for them. Where did we stop at? Does anybody remember? Jasher.
I think it's good enough.
Yeah.
I believe it was on 20. No, I think 22 was going back. No, we were on 20.
One of the Bibles should have a page 24.
Oh no, you're right. We're on 26 actually.
Are we?
We're on 26.
That's 22.
No,
Which one is it?
chapter 26.
Oh man. 26.
Right there, 26. Because I remember we were speaking about the age of when she became this woman and then when she was barren.
Oh,
How
that's
old
right.
she was.
Rebecca, she was 10.
Yep, she was 10. And then here, she was 18 at the end of chapter 25.
Okay.
And at 26 is actually, in chapter 26, she's 29 now.
Okay.
So that's the age.
So we're at Jasher, chapter 26, at verse 1. I'll go ahead and start reading. And in the, let me try to read up glasses. Gosh, I need some more of that mullet. What was it? Which one was good for eyes? Pine needle. A lot of them was good for it. Besides the pine needle, something else.
Carrots.
Carrots. And in the 59th year of the life of Isaac, the son of Abraham, Rebekah his wife was still barren in those days. And Rebekah said unto Isaac, Truly I have heard, my lord, that thy mother Sarah was barren in her days, until my lord Abraham thy father prayed for her, and she conceived by him. Okay. Now therefore stand up, pray thou also to God, and he will hear thy prayer and remember us through his mercies. And Isaac answered his wife Rebekah, saying, Abraham has already prayed for me to God to multiply his seed. Now therefore his barrenness must proceed to us from thee. And Rebekah said to him, But arise now thou also and pray, that the Lord may hear thy prayer and grant me children. And Isaac hearkened to the words of his wife. And Isaac and his wife rose up and went to the land of Moriah to pray there and to seek the Lord. Oh. And Isaac and his wife rose up and went to the land of Moriah to pray there and to seek the Lord. And when they had reached that place, Isaac stood up and prayed to the Lord on account of his wife, because she was barren. And Isaac said, O Lord of heaven and earth, whose goodness and mercies fill the earth, thou who dost take my father from his father's house and from his birthplace, and doest bring him unto this land. And doest thou say unto him, To thy seed I will give the land, and thou dost remember him, and dost declare unto him, I will multiply thy seed, all the stars of heaven. I will multiply thy seed as the stars of heaven, and as the sand of the sea. Now may thy words be verified, which thou doest speak unto my father. For thou art the Lord our God. Our eyes are toward thee to give a seed of men. And thou dost remember, and thou dost promise us. For thou art the Lord our God, and our eyes are directed toward thee only. And the Lord heard the prayer of Isaac, the son of Abraham, and the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And then about 7 months after the children struggled together within her, it pained her greatly that she was worried on account of them. And she said to all the women who were then in the land, Did such a thing happen to you as it has to me? And they said to her, No. And she said to them, Why am I alone in this amongst all the women that were upon earth? And she went to the land of Moriah to seek the Lord on account of this. And she went to Shem and Eber, his son, to make inquiries of them in this manner, and that they should seek the Lord in this thing respecting her. And she also asked Abraham to seek and inquire of the Lord about all that had befallen her. And they all inquired of the Lord concerning this matter, and they brought her word from the Lord and told her, 2 children are in thy womb, and 2 nations shall rise from them, and one nation shall be stronger than the other, and the greater shall serve the younger. And when her days to be delivered were completed, she knelt down, and behold, there were twins in her womb, as the Lord had spoken to her. And the first came out red, all over like a hairy garment. And all the people of the land called his name Esau, saying that this one was made complete from the womb. And after that came his brother, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel. Therefore they called his name Jacob. And Isaac, the son of Abraham, was 60 years old when he begat them. And the boys grew up to their 15th year, and they came among the society of men. Esau was a desiring and deceitful man, and an expert hunter in the field. And Jacob was a man perfect and wise, dwelling in tents, feeding flocks and learning the instructions of the Lord and the commands of his father and mother. And Isaac and the children of his household dwelt with his father Abraham in the land of Canaan, as God had commanded them. And Ishmael, the son of Abraham, went with his children and all belonging to them, and they returned there to the land of Havilah, and they dwelt there. And all the children of Abraham's concubines went to dwell in the land of the east, for Abraham had sent them away from his son, and had given them presents, and they went away. And Abraham gave all that he had to his son Isaac, and he also gave him all his treasures. And he commanded him, saying, Doest thou not know and understand the Lord is God in heaven and in earth, and there is no other beside him. And it was he who took me from my father's house and from my birthplace, and gave me all the delights upon earth, who delivered me from the counsel of the wicked, for in him did I trust. And he brought me to this place, and he delivered me from Kasdim, and he said unto me, To thy seed I will give all these lands, and thou shalt inherit them when they keep my commandments, my statutes, and my judgments, that I have commanded thee, and which I shall command them. Now therefore, my son, hearken to my voice, and keep the commandments of the Lord thy God, which I command thee. Do not turn from the right way, either to the right or to the left, in order that it may be well with thee and thy children after thee forever. And remember the wonderful works of the Lord, and his kindness that he has shown toward us, in having delivered us from the hands of our enemies. And the Lord our God caused him to fall into our hands. And now therefore keep all that I have commanded thee, and turn not away from the commandments of thy God, and serve none beside him, in order that it may be well with thee and thy seed after thee. And teach thou thy children and thy seed the instructions of the Lord and his commandments, and teach them the upright way in which they should go, in order that it may be well with them forever. And Isaac answered his father and said unto him, That which my Lord has commanded, that will I do, and I will not depart from the commands of the Lord my God. I will keep all that he commanded me. And Abraham blessed his son Isaac, and also his children. And Abraham taught Jacob the instructions of the Lord and his ways. And it was at the time that Abraham died, in the 15th year of the life of Jacob and Esau, that the sons of Isaac and all the days of Abraham were 175 years. And he died and was gathered to his people in good old age, old and satisfied with days, and Isaac and Ishmael with his sons buried him. And when the inhabitants of Canaan heard that Abraham was dead, they all came with their kings and princesses and all their men to bury Abraham. And all the inhabitants of the land of Haran, and all the families of the house of Abraham, and all the princes and grandees, and the sons of Abraham by the concubines, all came when they heard of Abraham's death. And they requited Abraham's kindness, and confronted Isaac his son, and comforted Isaac his son. And they buried Abraham in the cave which he brought from Ephraim the Hittite, and his children for the possession of a burial place. And all the inhabitants of Canaan and all those who had known Abraham wept for Abraham a whole year. And men and women mourned over him. And all the little children and all the inhabitants of the land wept on account of Abraham, for Abraham had been good to them all. And because he had been upright with God and men, and there arose not a man who feared God like Abraham, for he had feared his God from his youth, and has served the Lord, and has gone in all the ways during his life, from his childhood to the day of his death. And the Lord was with him, and delivered him from the counsel of Nimrod and his people. And when he made war with the 4 kings of Elam, he conquered them. And he brought all the children of the earth to the service of God. And he taught them the ways of the Lord, and caused them to know the Lord. And he formed a grove, and he planted a vineyard therein. And he had always prepared in his tent meat and drink to those that passed through the land, that they might satisfy themselves in his house. And the Lord God delivered the whole earth on account of Abraham. And it was after the death of Abraham that God blessed his son Isaac and his children. And the Lord was with Isaac as he had been with his father Abraham. For Isaac kept all the commandments of the Lord, as Abraham his father had commanded him. And he did not turn to the right or to the left from the right path which his father had commanded him. All right. Pretty good.
It is.
Anybody want to recap?
I do.
All right.
Verse 38 says, the Lord God delivered the whole earth on account of Abraham. So on account of that one righteous man, the whole earth was delivered from the decree of his wrath. Good gosh. Now imagine if that brother wasn't that locked in. And it said there was no man, as there rose not a man that feared God like he did. He followed him from his youth to his death. So from when he was born all the way to 170, he never swindled, never was wavering. That's something I aspire to be like. Even though I've wavered in my 23 years of living, I ain't even touched his good old age. That just shows that it's possible.
Yeah. One thing I like about Isaac's wife, he married him a good woman.
Mm-hmm.
Because she said, hey, cuz, we sit here patiently waiting on a child, and I'm barren. You know, look at our past. You know, your dad finally prayed for Sarah to have children, and she had them. I want you to rise up now and go pray.
Please.
Please,
Twice.
pray for us.
But Sarah, on the other hand, she did completely opposite.
Sarah went in her own head
Mm-hmm.
to figure out a way to satisfy her husband having a kid. And she said, hey, have it with my handmaid. Well, Rebecca, she knew that was an error.
She said, nah.
She said, oh no.
She said, matter of fact, just listen. Pray for me, just like your pops did.
As soon as she did, as soon as they went and prayed together, look what happened.
He said, my pops already prayed. She said, I know, I understand. That's true, my Lord. But what I'm asking you now is to pray so I can have truth, okay?
Let's see what happens.
Just see what happens.
Hey,
That's what I like, though.
Hey, I like that too. You can't argue with a woman who's asking you to pray.
No, you can't.
She ain't nagging him to do nothing else.
Nothing wicked.
Nothing wicked.
She ain't saying, oh, you this. Nah, she just said, hey.
Hey, I ain't asking you to pray to go get me a daggone Lamborghini.
Yeah.
I just want to get that child.
I saw it from the council what happened in the past. Like you said, let's look at the past. She intelligent. She said, let's look at the past. Your pops did this. So, I believe you should do the same thing. You gotta go through that little hard fetch. You do it. Yeah. She said, but rise now. She said, now, please.
And they didn't just pray right there. They packed up and set out. They went on a journey.
Yeah.
And went and prayed.
Went to the land and prayed. And then not only that, how even though she was going through a situation, she said, I'm going through something. And she asked the other one, anybody else going through this stuff I'm going through? They said, nah. First thing she went through was went to the elders that she knew from her her husband. She said, let me go to Shem and Eber. Then they asked Abraham too, can y'all ask the Creator, what's going on within me? She ain't took out spaz on anybody. Oh, this all happened to me. Why is this happening to me? Upset. She ain't quiet. Just calm about it. Got her answers.
I mean, she looked for somebody else's OE, observed experience.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty smart.
It is.
Don't just trip. Check with people before
See,
you.
I know some men that could give me some answers. I know from my husband's side. I know they can get me out. Some good men. But that I was reiterating that because from my experiences now, this younger generation, my generation now, a lot of people have made excuses for the things that happened to their life, or the men that came into their life, and it shows how we can see things and understand what is good and what is not. This is up for us to make the right choice. So she saw that her husband was a righteous man. She knew she was dealing with a righteous man, and that she had faith in these men and knew that these men would do good for her. And then we have women that know that men out here are wicked, then get upset when wicked things happen to them after it. Vice versa for men as well. So we have to use proper discernment and understand what is righteous, what is not. The only way we can do that is understand the ways of the Creator, what His ways are.
Man, that's true. That's why I mentioned that Ryan Garcia. I really am impressed with that young man because it does not help his career
It doesn't. It's not.
at all. Talking about the Lord and pointing out the wickedness, and it don't help his career, but it helped. He don't care, and I respect him for that. I'm glad he don't care.
Yeah.
I like to see him not care even deeper and to take it more serious and get them Jezebels away from him.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
I notice he's got some folks around him that ain't got their head covered up, that's looking sexy.
Mhm.
That's another trick of the devil. He don't never stop.
No, he don't. He's not. He wants all the good ones.
He wants us all. So I get that young man, Ryan Garcia, you getting some prayer support from me. When I think about it, I'm gonna send you some energy, righteously. That's all I can do, because he needs it.
Yeah, for sure. I was actually keeping up a little bit with his fight with Haney, and I was seeing the shift in that. And that's one thing I always notice. Once people start speaking about doing good, living life, all that worldly stuff is gonna go out the way, because if they don't correlate, you can't serve God and man. It's not gonna work. You either gonna serve one master or you gonna serve the other. If you in the between, you get one, you're gonna get spit out.
Did he win the fight?
I can't remember.
I don't know if he won.
I can't remember if he did or not.
Remember they said he was on steroids?
Yeah, they started talking about all these things after the fight.
Mm-hmm.
We already know this is a scam.
Yeah.
How many times you try to compete, Roman? Do they test you after?
And they tested me before.
Hey, much before.
And then before, and then not after, but before.
Yeah.
Before.
Yeah, nobody care about it after.
Why would
You
test
don't won.
afterwards? Everything already over.
They trying to blackball it.
That reminds me of Sha'Carri Richardson. Like, remember she won, and they were like,
and they
oh,
said
she tested on THC, and she's like,
Was that after?
but it
over
says
too?
it was after.
After she beat the record.
Yeah, because she was like, how am I, quote unquote, THC, quote unquote, slowed reactions, but
I'm
I
over
win
here burning you guys.
100-meter dash.
Trying to get
How does that work?
Burning you like.
How was that a slow reaction?
Yeah, security. I didn't even realize yours was after too.
Yeah, same thing.
Man, they just trying to stop that girl. Was she talking about the God too?
I can't. She was saying something. I can't remember it specifically, but she was certain things she was saying where it was like her head was on right, but there was other things she was saying. I'm
She brought some ugly to the sport that you probably won't like in that daggone tuxedo outfit and stuff. She had an outfit on that looked a little bit
Some lingerie.
kind of racy. You know, she done enough to make them give her a hard way. But if you don't conform exactly how everyone else is, they give you a hard way.
Yeah, that's true. That's been my whole life.
Yeah.
They want me to be a docile teddy bear. And I speak my mind. If I speak my mind, or if I say anything that could be viewed as a threat, they gonna put me down. That's been my whole life. Oh, you can't say it like that. You gotta watch your tone. You know, you're scaring people. You can't. That's why I've always been. I don't even use my regular voice. I'm sure I've spoken wrong before, but when I speak to people, I don't even use my real voice. I increase my tone of voice so I don't come off as assertive or stern. I like to elevate my tone because people can, like you said, people can't take something entirely wrong. My actual voice is way deeper than what people actually hear. But
you remember when?
That's crazy.
I'm not gossiping. I'm just stating something that's already happened because it's very relevant. I remember my Uncle Sam heard you talk for the first time, and as soon as you started talking, he was like, "Did you just change your voice to try to like intimidate me?" And I was like, "No, it's my regular voice." And it was so funny to me because I was like, "No way, that's how it works." Like,
yeah, man.
Immediately. Like, as soon as he was like, "My name's Darwin," he was like, "Whoa, what is that?"
Yeah, what you trying to do here? You trying to run the house? I said, no.
At least he said it.
Yeah, no, it was really funny.
That's one thing about Sam. I mean, that's one thing I like about Sam.
Definitely up front.
You know where he's coming from. Out of everybody in this whole family that I married into, even though he's an in-law as well, I got along with him better than anybody else.
Yeah.
It's just that when I took a stand with his foolish shit, that the rest of the family turned on me. I said, "Daggone, I'm not gonna sit back and let this cat's behavior. I ain't accepting it." And they said, "Oh, we don't trust you, Joseph."
That be the thing with people, man.
Hey,
You can't make nobody want to do good. You can't. And that's another thing too. The Bible says to give righteous judgment. Have no respect to person when you judge them righteously. And that's what you was doing. When people can't take reproof and rebuke, especially when it's actually trying to help your soul. That's one thing that it'd be somewhat sad or difficult to see dealing with people because your intentions don't even be that I'm trying to harm you in any way, but they can take it as, oh, you're trying to control me, you're harming me. I realize you're trying to save their soul. Soul is way more important than you getting your feelings about me saying, hey, I don't believe that you should be doing certain things like that. And you get the reason why. Well, you can't tell me what I can do. Okay. All right.
who's next? Let's keep it reading while we got footage left. We're at what?
27.
27.
Esau, at that time, after the death of Abraham, frequently went in the field to hunt. Oh, here we go. This is good.
Boy, it is.
And Nimrod, king of Babel, the same was a Renfield. Also, see, that's another thing too. Nimrod goes by another name as well. So that's another thing I want to bring out. But second verse, and Nimrod, king of Babel, the same was Amraphel, also frequently went with his mighty men to hunt in the field and to walk about with his men in the cool of the day. And Nimrod was observing Esau all the days, for a jealousy was formed in the heart of Nimrod against Esau all the days. And on a certain day Esau went in the field to hunt, and he found Nimrod walking in the wilderness with his 2 men. And all his mighty men and his people were with him in the wilderness, but they were moved at a distance from him, and they went from him in different directions to hunt. And Esau concealed himself from Nimrod, and he lurked for him in the wilderness. And Nimrod and his men that were with him did not know him. And Nimrod and his men frequently walked about in the field at the cool of the day, and to know where his men were hunting in the field. And Nimrod and 2 of his men that were with him came to a place where they were. When Esau started suddenly from his lurking place and drew his sword, and hastened, ran to Nimrod and cut off his head. And Esau fought a desperate fight with the two men that were with Nimrod. And when they called out to him, Esau turned to them and smote them to death with his sword. And all the mighty men of Nimrod, who had left him to go to the wilderness, heard the cry at a distance, and they knew the voices of those two men, and they ran to know the cause of it. And when they found their king and the two men that were with him lying dead in the wilderness. And when Esau saw that the mighty men of Nimrod coming at a distance, he fled, and thereby escaped. And Esau took the valuable garments of Nimrod, which Nimrod's father had bequeathed to Nimrod, and with which Nimrod prevailed over the whole land. He ran and concealed them in his house. And Esau took those garments and ran into the city on account of Nimrod's men, and he came into his father's house weary and exhausted from fighting. He was ready to die of grief when he approached his brother Jacob and sat before him. And he said unto his brother Yaakov, Behold, I shall die this day, and wherefore then do I want the birthright? And Yaakov acted wisely with Esau in this matter, and Esau sold his birthright to Yaakov, for it was so brought about by Yahiah. And Esau's portion in the cave of the field of Machpelah, which Abraham had bought for the children of Heth, for the possession of the burial ground, Esau also sold to Yaakov. And Yaakov bought all this from his brother Esau for value given. And Yaakov wrote the whole of this in a book, and he testified the same with witnesses, and he sealed it. And the book remained in the hands of Yaakov. And when Nimrod, the son of Cush, died, his men lifted him up and brought him in consternation and buried him in his city. In all the days that Nimrod lived were 215 years, and he died. And the days that Nimrod reigned upon the people of the land were 185 years. And Nimrod died by the sword of Esau in shame and contempt. And the seed of Abraham caused his death, as he had seen in his dream. And at the death of Nimrod, his kingdom became divided into many divisions. And all those parts that Nimrod reigned over were restored to the respective kings of the land, who recovered them at the death of Nimrod. And all the people of the house of Nimrod were for a long time enslaved to all the other kings of the land.
Hey, he seen that when Abraham was a little boy. Sorcerers and they all saw it. Was it the stars in the sky that
stars
night?
in the sky.
That changes the whole blame story about Esau just selling the birthright.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was meant to be.
It was.
Well, nothing he could do about it.
Mm-hmm. He was gonna sell it anyway. He was gonna sell it regardless. It was just set up in that minute. He said, "Man, this birthright, man. I was just some war with King Nimrod."
I can't believe Jacob pulled that move, man. What kind of move is that, Jacob?
That's a wise move. That's what it says.
Is it wise?
I mean, it says it was brought by the Creator. So anything the Creator brings by, I don't know who.
I can't sit and say nothing about that.
Esau was already deceitful and wicked anyway. Before him, that was his whole shebang. They say he was from jump. They said in 26.
Designing and deceitful.
Yeah, he was already like that. He was deceitful and a nice. He was a good hunter, but he was already wicked. He was already wicked to think that.
Esau I love, Jacob I hate. No. Jacob I love, Esau I hate.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the Lord said. Goodness.
Chapter 28. And in those days, after the death of Abraham, in that year, the Lord brought a heavy famine in the land, and whilst the famine was raging in the land of Canaan, Isaac rose up to go down to Egypt on the account of the famine, as his father Abraham had done. And the Lord appeared to him that night to Isaac, and he said to him, Do not go down to Egypt, but rise and go to Gerar, to Abimelech, king of Philistines, and remain there till the famine shall cease. Isaac rose up and went to Gerar, as the Lord commanded him, and he remained there a full year. And when Isaac came to Gerar, the people of the land saw that Rebekah his wife was of a beautiful appearance. And the people of Gerar asked Isaac concerning his wife, and he said, She is my sister. he was afraid to say she was his wife, lest the people of the land should slay him on account of her. And the princes of Amalek went and praised the woman to the king, and he answered them not. But he answered them not, neither did he attend to their words. But he heard them say that Isaac declared her to be his sister. So the king reserved this within himself.
He said, "I'm this before."
And when Isaac had remained 3 months in the land, Amalek looked out at the window, and he saw, and behold, Abimelech looked out at the window, and he saw, and behold, Isaac was sporting with Rebekah his wife, for Isaac dwelt in the outer house belonging to the king, so that the house of Isaac was opposite the house of the king. And the king said unto Isaac, What is this thou hast done to us, in saying of thy wife, She is my sister? How easily might one of the great men of the people have lain with her, and thou wouldest then have brought guilt upon us. And Isaac said unto Amalek, Because I was afraid lest I die on account of my wife, therefore I said, She is my sister. At that time Amalek gave orders to all his princes and great men, and they took Isaac and Rebekah his wife, and brought them before the king. And the king commanded that they should dress them in princely garments, and make them ride through the streets of the city, and proclaim before them throughout the land, saying, This is the man, and this is his wife. Whoever touches this man or his wife shall surely die. And Isaac returned with his wife to the king's house, and the Lord was with Isaac, and continued to wax great, and lacked nothing. And the Lord caused Isaac to find favor in the sight of Amalek, and in the sight of his subjects. And Amalek acted well with Isaac, for Amalek remembered the oath and the covenant that existed between his father and Abraham. And Amalek said unto Isaac, Behold, the whole earth is before thee. Dwell wherever it may seem good in thy sight, until thou shalt return to thy land. And Abimelech gave Isaac fields and vineyards in the best part of the land of Gerar to sow and reap, and eat the fruits of the ground until the days of the famine should have passed by. And Isaac sowed in that land and received 100-fold in the same year, and the Lord blessed him. And the man waxed great, and he had possession of flocks, and possession of herds, and great store of servants. And when the days of the famine had passed away, the Lord appeared to Isaac and said unto him, Rise up, go forth from this place, and return to thy land, to the land of Canaan. And Isaac rose up and returned to Hebron, which is in the land of Canaan, he and all belonging to him, as the Lord commanded him. And after this, Shelah, the son of Arpachshad, died in that year, which is the 18th year of the lives of Jacob and Esau. And all the days that Shelah lived were 433 years, and he died. And at that time Isaac sent his younger son Jacob to the house of Shem and Eber, and he learned the instruction of the Lord. And Jacob remained in the house of Shem and Eber for 32 years. And Esau his brother did not go, for he was not willing to go. And he remained in his father's house in the land of Canaan. And Esau was continually hunting in the fields to bring home what he could get. So did Esau all the days. And Esau was a designing, deceitful man, one who hunted after the hearts of men, and veiled them.
What is that word?
Bagel?
Never
Heard of it either. Keep reading, bro. You'll find it.
And Esau was a valiant man in the field, and in the course of time went as usual to hunt. And he came as far as the field of Seir, the same is Edom. And he remained in the land of Seir, hunting in the field a year and 4 months.
It says invade, it means to blind someone's judgment. also to make blind, without sight, without eyes, meaning to win over by deceit, seduce.
Like a Jezebel.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, worse than Jezebel, actually. See, he a mighty hunter. He got the swiftness to kill you and deceive you.
And verse 22. And Esau there saw in the land of Seir the daughter of a man of Canaan, and her name was Jehudah, the daughter of Beri, son of Epher, from the families of Heth, the son of Canaan. And Esau took her for a wife, and he came unto her 40 years old. And Esau, 40 years old was Esau when he took her, and he brought her to Hebron, the land of his father's dwelling place. And he dwelt there. And it came to pass in those days, in the 110th year of the life of Isaac, that is in the 50th year of the life of Jacob. In that year died Shem, the son of Noah. Shem was 600 years old at his death. And when Shem died, Jacob returned his father to Hebron, which is in the land of Canaan. And in the 56th year of the life of Jacob, people came from Haran, and Rebekah was told concerning her brother Laban, the son of Bethuel. For the wife of Laban was barren in those days, and bare no children, and also all his handmaids bare none to him. And the Lord afterward remembered Adinah, the wife of Laban, and she conceived and bare twin daughters. And Laban called the names of his daughters, the name of the elder Leah, and the name of the younger Rachel. And those people came and told these things to Rebekah. And Rebekah rejoiced greatly that the Lord had visited her brother, and that he had got children.
The setup. Here we go down again.
Yep. Another setup for sure.
Man, that was good reading.
Dang.
You want to read one more?
29, right here. Yeah, we can blast through it. I want to bust it up. I'll read a little bit. We'll dissect it.
Yeah, we can do that. It's 43 verses.
All right. 43 divided by 3. That's
It's 10
12, 15, like 12 apiece.
14.
14.
And Isaac, I'm going to start reading it. Joshua chapter 29, verse 1. And Isaac, the son of Abraham, became old and advanced in days, and his eyes became heavy through age, and they were dim and could not see. At that time Isaac called to Esau his son, saying, Get, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver and thy bow. Rise up and go forth into the field, and get me some venison, and make me savory meat, and bring it to me, that I may eat, in order that I may bless thee before my death, as I now become old and gray-headed. And Esau did so. He took his weapon and went forth into the field to hunt for venison, as usual, to bring to his father as he had ordered him, so that he might bless him. And Rebekah heard all the words that Isaac had spoken to Esau, and she hastened and called her son Jacob, saying, Thus did thy father speak unto thy brother Esau, and thus did I hear. Now therefore hasten thou, and make that which I shall tell thee. Rise up and go, I pray thee, to the flocks, and fetch me 2 fine kids of the goats, and I will get savory meat for thy father, and thou shalt bring the savory meat, that he may eat before thy brothers shall have come from the chase, in order that thy father may bless thee. And Jacob hastened and did as his mother had commanded him. And he made the savory meat and brought it before his father, before Esau had come from his chase. And Isaac said unto Jacob, Who art thou, my son? And he said, I am thy firstborn Esau. I have done as thou didst order me. Now therefore rise up, I pray thee, and eat of my hunt, in order that my soul may bless me, in order that thy soul may bless me, as thou didst speak unto me. And Isaac rose up, and he ate and he drank, and his heart was comforted. And he blessed Jacob. Jacob went away from his father. And as soon as Isaac had blessed Jacob, and he had gone away from him, behold, Esau came from his hunt from the field. And he also made savory meat and brought it to his father to eat thereof and to bless him. And Isaac said to Esau, And who is he that has taken venison and brought it me before thou comest, and whom I did bless? And Esau knew that his brother Jacob had done this. And the anger of Esau was kindled against his brother Jacob, and he had acted thus toward him. And Esau said, Is he not rightly called Jacob? And Esau said, Is he not rightly called Jacob? For he has supplanted me twice. For he has supplanted me twice. He took away my birthright, and now he has taken away my blessing. And Esau wept greatly. And when Isaac heard the voice of his son Esau weeping, Isaac said unto Esau, What can I do, my son? Thy brother came with thy brother came with subtlety and took away thy blessing. And Esau hated his brother Jacob on account of the blessing that his father had given him. And his anger was greatly roused against him. And Jacob was very afraid of his brother Esau. He rose up and fled to the house of Eber, the son of Shem. And he concealed himself there on account of his brother. And Jacob was 63 years old when he went forth from the land of Canaan, from Hebron. And Jacob was concealed in Eber's house 14 years on account of his brother Esau. And he there continued to learn the ways of the Lord and his commandments. And when Esau saw that Jacob had fled and escaped from him, and that Jacob had cunningly obtained the blessing, that Esau grieved exceedingly. And he was also vexed at his father and mother. And he also rose up and took his wife and went away from his father and mother to the land of Seir. And he dwelt there, and Esau saw there a woman from among the daughters of Heth, whose name was Bosmath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite. And he took her for a wife in addition to his first wife. And Esau called her name Aduah, saying, The blessing had in that time passed from him. And go ahead.
You gotta keep going to.
Oh, and Esau dwelt in the land of Seir 6 months without seeing his father and mother. And afterward Esau took his wives and rose up and returned to the land of Canaan. And Esau placed his 2 wives in his father's house in Hebron. And the wives of Esau vexed and provoked Isaac and Rebekah with their works. For they walked not in the ways of the Lord, but served their father's gods of wood and stone, as their father had taught them. And they were more wicked than their father.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
Good. Okay. And they went according to the evil desires of their hearts, and they sacrificed and burnt incense to the Baalim. And Isaac and Rebekah became weary of them. And Rebekah said, I am weary of my life because the daughters of Heth. If Yah could take a woman of the daughters of Heth, such as these, which are the daughters of the land, what good then is life unto me? And in those days, Ada, the woman of Esau, conceived and bore him a son. Esau called the name of the son that was born to him Eliphaz. And Esau was 65 years old when she bore him. And Ishmael, the son of Abraham, died in those days, in the 64th year of the life of Jacob. And all the days that Ishmael lived were 137 Isaac heard that Ishmael was dead, he mourned for him, and Isaac lamented over him many days. At the end of 14 years of Yaakov residing in the house of Hebrew, Yaakov desired to see his father and mother, and Yaakov came to the house of his father and mother to Hebron. Esau had in those days forgotten what Yaakov had done to him, in having taken the blessing from him in those days. When Esau saw Yaakov coming to his father and mother, he remembered what Yaakov had done to him, and he was greatly incensed against him, and he sought to slay him. And Isaac, the son of Abraham, was old and advanced in days. And Esau said, now my father's time is drawing nigh, that he must die. And when he shall die, I will slay my brother Yaakov. And this was told to Rivkah, and she hastened and sent and called for Yaakov her son. And she said unto him, arise, go and flee to Haran to my brother Laban, and remain there for some time until your brother's anger be turned from you, and then shall you come back. And Isaac called Yaakov and said unto him, take not a woman from the daughters of Canaan, for thus did our father Abraham command us according to the word of Yahweh which he had commanded him, saying, unto your seed will I give this land. If your children guard my covenant that I have made with you, then will I also perform to your children that which I have spoken to you, and I will not forsake them. Now therefore, my son, hearken to my voice, to all that I shall command you, and refrain from taking a woman from amongst the daughters of Canaan. Arise, go to Haran, to the house of Bethuel, your mother's father, and take unto you a woman from there, from the daughters of Laban, your mother's brother. Therefore take heed, lest you should forget Yahweh, Elahika, and all his ways in the land to which you go, and should get connected with the people of the land, and pursue vanity, and forsake Yahweh, Elahika. But when you come to the land, serve. But when you come to the land, serve there Yahweh. Do not turn to the right or to the left from the way which I commanded you, and which you did learn. And may El Shaddai grant you favor in the sight of the people of the earth, that you may take their woman according to your choice, one who is good and upright in the ways of Yahweh.
And may God give unto thee and thy seed the blessings of thy father Abraham, and make thee fruitful and multiply thee. And mayest thou become a multitude of people in the land whither thou goest, and may God cause thee to return to this land, the land of thy father's dwelling, with children and with great riches, with joy and with pleasure. And Isaac finished commanding Jacob and blessing him, and he gave him many gifts together with silver and gold. He sent him away, and Jacob hearkened to his father and mother. He kissed them and arose and went to Padanaram. And Jacob was 77 years old, and he went out from the land of Canaan from Beersheba. And when Jacob went away to go to Haran, Esau called unto his son Eliphaz, and secretly spoke unto him, saying, now hasten, take thy sword in thy hand, and pursue Jacob, and pass before him in the road, and lurk for him, and slay him with thy sword in one of the mountains, and take all belongings to him, and come back. And Eliphaz, the son of Esau, was an active man, an expert with the bow, as his father had taught him. And he was a noted hunter in the field, and a valiant man. And Eliphaz did as his father had commanded him. And Eliphaz was at that time 13 years old. And Eliphaz rose up and went and took 10 of his mother's brothers with him, and pursued Jacob. And he closely followed Jacob, and he lurked for him in the border of the land of Canaan, opposite to the city of Shechem. And Jacob saw Eliphaz and his men pursuing him. And Jacob stood still in the place in which he was going, in order to know what this was, for he did not know the thing. And Eliphaz drew his sword, and he went on advancing, he and his men, toward Jacob. And Jacob said unto them, What is to do with you that you have come hither? And what meaneth is that you pursueth with your swords? And Eliphaz came near to Jacob, and he answered and said unto him, Thus did my father command me, and now therefore I will not deviate from the orders which my father gave me. And when Jacob saw that Esau had spoken to Eliphaz to employ force, Jacob then approached and supplicated Eliphaz and his men, saying to him, Behold, all that I have, in which my father and mother gave unto me, that take unto thee, and go from me, and do not slay me, and may this thing be accounted unto thee a righteousness. And the Lord caused Jacob to find favor in the sight of Eliphaz, the son of Esau, and his men, and they hearkened to the voice of Jacob. They did not put him to death. And Eliphaz and his men took all belongings to Jacob together, the silver and gold that he had brought with him from Beersheba. They left him nothing. And Eliphaz and his men went away from him, and they returned to Esau to Beersheba. And they told him all that had occurred to them with Jacob. And they gave him all that they had taken from Jacob. And Esau was indignant at Eliphaz his son, and at his men that they were with him, because they had not put Jacob to death. And they answered and said unto Esau, Because Jacob supplicated us in this manner not to slay him, our pity was excited towards him, and we took all belongings to him, and brought it unto thee. And Esau took all the silver and gold which Eliphaz had taken from Jacob, and he put them by in his house. At that time, when Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob, and had commanded him, saying, Thou shalt not take a wife from amongst the daughters of Canaan, and that the daughters of Canaan were bad in the sight of Isaac and Rebekah, then he went to the house of Ishmael his uncle, and in addition to his other wives, he took Machlah, the daughter of Ishmael, the sister of Nebaioth, for a wife.
That man was going to hell. He said, okay, my pops and Duke said they don't want me to deal with these women. Not only am I going to take one, I'm going to take 1, 2, and another one.
So these women that he took are from Canaan? He did it knowing he shouldn't?
Yeah, on purpose.
I wonder why he did that.
And well, it speaks about it. It speaks about it in you read about it. He said his anger against his
mother and father.
Yeah, it increased against his brother, his mother, and father. That's why he took the second wife last time. Let me see where it's
That's a recipe for disaster.
It is.
That's like
Hold on. Did he so he gave up his birthright, and then he was tasked to go get venison for his dad, and then his brother did it a little bit before he did it, and it's just like confusion.
I'm not certain why. Well, you know what? I guess Jacob said, "Hey, you don't have no birthright,
Right? Yeah.
Remember? You trying to slip in and get it anyway? Yo, you gave it up.
Pretty much, you're gonna need Jacob for
But
it.
his dad was telling him like,
Get the venison, I'm gonna give it
so
to
I
you.
can bless you. Anyway.
But he didn't know that he already sold it.
Oh, right.
Right? Jacob didn't know. I mean, Isaac didn't know.
that
Esau sold it. But there's more to this than what meets the eye. I mean, there's a lot going on here.
His mom is the one that overheard the blessing
Yeah.
and told him to go do it. But also too, there's in Genesis and in Jubilees where it gives a more account of what happened with Jacob's like, hold on, if I do this, I'm gonna be viewed as a deceiver. And Rebecca was like, no, if you do this, your sin will come upon me, so you still go do it.
That's what mom told him? She was locked
Yeah,
in.
she was not playing.
She said, there's no way in this world we letting this legacy go with Esau, because Esau is going to destroy it.
And
Esau's on crack.
I'm trying to see where it was showing.
What you gonna say, Roman?
English.
I was gonna say, didn't she have her brothers go with I believe the son of Esau to go like kill Jacob?
No. His pops told him to go kill him, and he brought those men on his own.
Yeah, but who were those people that
They were. It says it here. I was trying to find something.
Oh yeah. I thought it said it was Rebecca's.
No, it says, and this is verse 33. And Eliphaz did as his father had commanded him, and Eliphaz was at that time 13 years old, and Eliphaz rose up and went and took of his mother's brothers with him. So he took his mother's brothers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But Eliphaz is the son of Esau.
Right.
So he took his whatever wife that Esau took, that's the brothers that he took. Not Rebecca.
Oh, Rebecca's with Jacob.
Rebecca is the mother of
Rebecca's Isaac's wife.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. No.
Rebecca's the one that helped
Esau.
help Jacob con Isaac.
Yeah.
Dang, so it's all kind of action.
Yeah, it's all type of stuff going on,
But
man.
Esau's got him a damn army of no gooders.
He does. I'm talking about full arm. I'm trying to find where.
Now, why was it? Well, when God took over Canaan, they destroyed everybody in there after Moses stepped up over there. I'm not Moses. Joshua is the one that actually went into Canaan after the Exodus, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they had to kill everybody over there.
Yeah.
Hey, we had to kill them all because they just bad.
So he said, don't leave no child, nothing, because I mean it makes sense. The spirit of that person will be in them. That's true. When two people come together, half of that spirit, making a whole unique spirit right there. If that spirit don't get purged out, same thing gonna happen. Their hearts gonna fall out their fathers, just like the hearts of their fathers, just like their fathers, just like the hearts of their fathers and their fathers.
And I'm gonna tell you something, man. You can tap. I'm gonna tell you that energy is something you can tap into as a parent. When your son marries the wrong person, you can tell.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell the work that has to be done to make it right. A man can take a woman from anywhere and make him his wife if he's got the Lord with him. But if the Lord clearly tells you don't go get one from there, you best not do that.
That's not good at all.
You know, if you got those instructions, because mercy. Well, guys, that was a good podcast. I'm gonna end it while we still got data. Thanks for sitting in and listening to our podcast today, folks, of the Book of Jasher. I hope you guys find it interesting. I know I do. It brings first person to these stories in the Bible and gives you a deeper appreciation. I could only imagine getting insight from Egypt. I'd love to find some peers, like our own peers, our own age and our own status in Egypt, that we can sit down and podcast with. That'd be pretty nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I found that verse I was looking for.
You did?
Yeah.
What is it?
This is 29, verse 12. And Esau saw that Jacob had fled and escaped from him, and that Jacob had come to obtain the blessing, and Esau grieved exceedingly. And he was also vexed at his father and mother. And he also rose up and took his woman and went away from his father and mother to the land of Seir. And he dwelt there, and Esau saw there a woman from amongst the daughters of Heth, who was a Hittite, whose name was Basmath, daughter of Elon the Hittite. And he took her for a woman in addition to his first woman. Esau called her name Adah, saying, the blessing had in that time passed from me. This was already, he already was going against the ways of his father and mother anyway, because before Remember Isaac in Genesis, Isaac wanted Jacob to have a woman not from the land of Canaan, but from his forefathers.
Yeah, and he sent a servant to go find her at the well.
Yeah, but since Esau was already angry with him, he was like, I'm gonna just do whatever y'all told me not to do, I'm gonna do it. That's how much anger and hate he had. So that's why he did those things. He did it on purpose. And he put him in their crib. And he purposely went to his father's house and placed him there in Hebron on purpose.
With Isaac and Rebecca.
And that's why I say in 14, and the women of Esau vexed and provoked Isaac and Rebekah with their works, with their ways. The vex means, I'm sure you know.
Word the hell out of them.
Yeah. And it said, for they walk not in the ways that they hired, but served their father's gods and wood and stone, just like Terah did, as their father had taught them, and they were more wicked than their father. And they went according to the evil desires of their hearts, and sacrificed and burnt incense to Baal. And Isaac and Rebekah became weary of them. And Rebekah said, I'm weary of my life because of the daughters of Heth. If Jacob take a woman of these daughters, such as these, which are the daughters of the land, what good is then my life unto me?
Hey, your kids can just ruin that goes to show Ms. Evans in that basement. And them sons of hers down there doing all that mess. And nobody on her team telling. I should have told her.
Yeah.
I should have went upstairs and told on them.
One bad apple spoils the whole bunch. That's the truth. He said, don't take that woman. He said, if my son Isaac get a woman like this, if Jacob get a woman like this, I shouldn't even be alive.
Yeah,
he said it's raps. She said, I'm gonna die right now.
Where was Jacob at when he was hiding?
Yeah, he was hiding with
Jacob.
Shem.
Yeah,
So Laban.
so Jacob was just, so Isaac was just.
Laban was Laban.
Like, he was in Hebron with Shem. Eber. That's what he did first. Then she told him to escape later to go.
Ain't Shem one of Noah's last remaining sons?
Yeah, Shem is the king of peace. Shem was
So he had found sanctuary. Anytime you want sanctuary, you go to one of Moses' boys. One of Noah's boys.
Anytime you want a sanction and some instruction from the Lord, go to Shem.
You get some good eats.
Shem Eber. The 500-year-old, 600-year-old.
600. And he lived way longer than Abraham and Nimrod. He was super like
good eats, bro.
I mean, they was following the ways of the Lord. He was super like me.
They had the best sows, the best reaps.
Best reaps. He got the best.
Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Y'all want to say something to our audience? Like and subscribe. All right. Thanks, man.
Best reaps. Now that's